Hello and welcome back to the Nasty Metal Parks channel here at YouTube. So, as you can see by the title, I'm back here with a album review, and which is something I haven't done in a while, but was going to, but I'm not going to go into that because I don't want to derail the video. So, as you can see, I'm here to review the debut full-length album from Vulture. And as not the one by, what was his name from Municipal Waste. Not that guy. No, this band is based out of Germany. And, so, I'm not going to waste any time. I'm definitely going to go into at least the back story before going into, well, the track listing. So, like I said, Vulture are based out of Germany. Formed in 2015, released their demo/EP last year, titled Victim to the Blade, which of course made my top 5 best EPs of last year. Of course, so, as you can definitely tell, they came back here in 2017 with their debut full-length album titled The Guillotine, released through High Roller Records on both CD and vinyl, and was dropped today. Or by now, when you're watching this video, it's now the 26th, but it was dropped here on August 25th. So, album clocks in at 38 minutes and 23 seconds, and right from the first track, Vendetta, which starts off with this horror movie-like intro, making it almost apparent that this album should have not been released in August, but should have been released in October. But after the horror movie-like intro, just breaks into a straight-up bone-crushing thrasher. And of course, the track was also released as a music video earlier last month, and it was a fucking killer track. And again, it really just sets up the whole album. Again, to Clashing Iron, also released as just a standalone track through the YouTube channel, again, was another really good song. It is a somewhat less speedy track, but it's still quite thrashing. Next track is Adrian Castle. Killer track that definitely starts off very atmospheric before breaking in to definitely almost more of a Iron Maiden-ish sort of track in a way, as far what I at least got from it. Again, it's a killer track that features Enforcer singer Olaf Wickstrand. Definitely, the whole album in a way, it's definitely a thrashing album. But the thing is, there are times where it almost has more of a power speed sort of feel. Almost like if you were to take Rage and Creator and basically mix them. Hell, some of this album actually sounds like what you'd expect from Noise Records back in the 1980s. Definitely with also bands such as Warrant, not the American band, the German band that released First Strike and the Enforcer. Another, great band right there that, I'm not going to go into it, they released a disappointing album. This sounds more like what I was hoping Metal Bridge was going to sound like. Still, next track here is The Night Belongs to the Dead, which starts off with this eerie acoustic guitar, to then heading straight into just heavy metal galore. Just an infectious track that just keeps you in. And then after that, we get Paraphiliac, another really, jaw-dropping track as well. It's like this whole album is jaw-dropping. Basically, it's like that the artwork for the album. Just those hands with the leather glove with that you always tend to see even on the last, the EP. It's like it's coming out and grabbing you by the jugular and is just holding on, but is squeezing as tight as possible. Before then, at the end of the album, it's like you're already, your neck is snapped. This is basically the best way I can describe the sound. In a way, the last bit that really crushes your neck is, the last track, Cry for Death, which starts off with a bass intro from bass player A. Extinctor that for a small stint goes playing out like a heavy metal track again, very much kind of like what Rage would do with some of their stuff, where basically it has this very anthemic feel to then breaking into another killer thrasher, which has a real nice pounding break that reminds me almost of the beat to like Pounding Metal by Exciter. Killer track and a killer way to end the album. And let's definitely also take a bit and talk about the backbone of some of this. Some of the guitar, like the singer that just. Look at these guys. Like singer L. Steeler is one hell of a vocalist that shines through this whole ride, along being backed by two great guitar players in S. Genocider and M. Outlaw, and being all rounded up by a good rhythm section and bass player A. Extinctor. With guitar player S. Genocider performing once again the drums, because he also did the drums in the last EP as well, since they really don't have, at this point, a permanent drummer. But, though, for the live shows, they have at least gotten AC from Intoxication, this band right here, another German-based metal band. This is as far as our only album. I wish these guys can also come back and release a follow-up. Good band there. Again, he's been filling in since 2016 as the drummer for the live shows, but isn't a permanent drummer. Still, with that, it's time to get to the score. 10 out of 10. Yep, I went there. I went with this because this is how killer this album is. If it was never, apparent with their EP that their full-length album was going to be any good, I don't know what the hell you're listening to, because this album is killer from start to finish. There's no punches being pulled, no dull moment ever wasted. No, nothing was wasted whatsoever during this whole album. Like, again, it's basically sounds like the album cover, just like how Victims of the Blade sounded like that album cover. This is metal as just, this is what metal is. Basically, if there was one, and it's very cliche to say the whole, like, this is what metal sounds like, but for this album, this is what metal pretty much sounds like. Crushing rhythms, just pounding drums, whatever, real killer guitar playing, just killer riffs, great production, and again, it was handled by Patrick E. Engel. I think I'm butchering his name, but he, of course, is the producer for this album, who, of course, has produced quite a bit of stuff for High Roller Records. In a way, he does a great job. He isn't your Andy Sneap. He isn't your one-trick pony. He makes sure that every band that he produces sounds organic. This album doesn't sound like it was recorded for the digital age. This album sounds like it was recorded, basically, for vinyl. It sounds very organic. It sounds very analogish. Nothing about the sound sounds like it's made for the MP3 age. This is a very tight sounding album, tight production, tight mixing, and it basically brings the whole album together. Just a crushing album from start to finish. Nothing really bad presented on here. So, with that, if you have checked out this album already, or if you are going to, definitely check out this album. And if you have, like I said, you can definitely post your comments down below. Anyways, Even if you haven't checked out Vulture, you can either start with the sound or you can start with their EP, Victim to the Blade. Either way, you're doing yourself a pretty good favor. This is killer. Killer stuff. If you're into speed thrash, you're going to love this album. There is nothing on the sound that is going to be like, well, what the hell did I just buy? You ain't going to feel like that. You ain't going to feel cheated. This is just a killer album, and the word killer basically is the best way I can describe this album. So, until then, this is Heavy Thrasher Sam out. And go listen to this album. Go listen to this. You'll thank me later. Later.